Pinterest strategy? If I asked you that right now, could you tell me? What are all of the components to a Pinterest strategy? There are 4. Go. No, you probably couldn't. And that's okay, because most people can't. And as I'm doing audits for the YouTube channel, for students, for people that reach out, that are just like, hey, maybe we should work together, current clients, former clients, I can tell you the majority of people do not know what all is involved in creating a Pinterest strategy. And while I'm not gonna go through everything involved in a Pinterest strategy in this video, I am gonna walk you through the 4 main components of what you should be including in your overall Pinterest strategy today and how it all ties together. Because I feel like that is a huge part missing in all of the Pinterest content in the world, everywhere. Yes, I feel like that's the part that's missing, is how to tie it all together. So without further ado, I created slides, you probably guessed it, let's get going. Strategy actually is, including all of the components and how you can get your Pinterest strategy started in a single afternoon. So I have lots of resources for you in this video, lots of things that I'm going to be pointing you towards, but fear not, all of the links will be in the description. So what exactly is a Pinterest strategy? Well, there are really 4 main components that go into a Pinterest strategy, and obviously all 4 of these are very nuanced in that they have a lot more to them than what's just here at surface level. But today we're going to go through these 4 components and talk about them. So number 1 is a keyword strategy. Number 2 is having an image strategy. Number 3 is your scheduling strategy. And number 4 is obviously your analytics. All of this entire ecosystem is fed by what you produce on the internet. Whether that's on your website, you have an e-commerce store, if you are repurposing from other platforms, if you have funnels or an email list or whatever it is, this entire ecosystem is fed by what you produce elsewhere. That's the point of Pinterest, is to use it as a traffic driver. Now, as we move into step number 1, I want you to start with your keywords. So we're really going to start at the very basic bottom dollar here. So what is your content or product pillars in your business? So for example, in this recent YouTube video that I did, I laid out as a digital product seller, this person might have these 3 main pillars. They sell digital planner products, they generate free digital planning content on their blog or YouTube channel, and they sell a mini planning course as well as the products. So these are the pillars of things that they have in their business. Everything's going to revolve around that. They are then going to find keywords that are going to support these things. Now, your keywords are going to help you to develop everything that you do on Pinterest. As you start to think about your pillars, you might need to be reminded of what exactly your board strategy is. Now, I do have an entire video on creating a board strategy. This is a slide actually from that video, but essentially you're going to start with your boards with the products you sell, the content you create, and the services that you offer. And those are all going to feed into your actual keyword strategy and the keywords that you are going to use. Now, on Pinterest, there's many different ways that you can find keywords, but the main way is just simply using the search bar. Now, there are going to be people on the internet that tell you things like, you can use this paid tool, or you can do this, or you can do that. There are no paid tools that are going to help you to find keywords on Pinterest. There are a few tools that you can use to help ideate what your keywords are going to be on Pinterest, but Pinterest's API does not allow for third-party tools to give you any data. So your best bet is really to just use the Pinterest tool set you already have. So the trends tool, you can find that in your menu here. You can create a campaign and find keywords in there, or you can simply use the search bar here. Now, as you begin to develop your board strategy, your keywords are really going to develop out of that. And again, if you need to know how to find keywords on Pinterest, there's an entire SEO video on my channel. It's called Master Pinterest SEO, a step-by-step keyword strategy guide. Visit that. So really the first component of your Pinterest strategy is your keywords. Your keywords are going to go everywhere. I'm going to show you. They are going to go in the bio of your profile, which is right here. They're going to go in your display name. then you are going to use them in your boards and your board descriptions and your pins and your pin descriptions and the text that goes on your pins. They are going to go in all of the places. So when I tell you that you need to find keywords based on your content and your product pillars, this is what I mean. So your action items for step 1 are to match your keywords to your content and product pillars. So for example, if I wanted to match a keyword on Pinterest to my pillars, to one of my pillars, it would be to my Academy website. So pinprofitacademy.com is my Academy website. It's my membership that I sell. And I want this full keyword right here, create your Pinterest strategy or Pinterest strategy step by step. That's actually 2 separate keywords I've identified, and I've married them together. So what I've done here is I'm using a pillar in my business, which is a product I sell, with a keyword on Pinterest, and I'm creating a Pinterest image for that, and I'm using the keywords in the title, on the image, in the description, on the board, and the board description. So those 5 main places right there that you are going to consistently be using your Pinterest keywords. So back to your action items, you're going to match your keywords to your content and your product pillars. You are then going to use those main keywords to create your Pinterest boards. You're going to write your board copy, which is your title and your board description, and you're going to create a board cover and set that board to secret. So here is what a Pinterest board looks like. Right here, how to build a sales funnel. There's not a lot of current content on this. This is an old board that I'm reviving. You can see all of the old ugly content of mine. But we have a board title, we have the start of a Pinterest description, and we have pins that go on this board that are related to the topic at hand. Now this also has a board cover. That's what this little square image is for, and this also links to a piece of content of mine. Now historically, my board covers have performed well, and a common question I always get is, how do you optimize your board covers? Well, simply put, I put the board description as the pin description for this board cover. So I upload this cover natively to Pinterest. I give it a title. It's usually the title of the board. I give it a description. That's the board description. I link it to an appropriate thing on my website or YouTube channel or a funnel. And then I simply apply that board cover to the board. Okay? Applying board covers is really simple. You're going to edit the board and you're going to apply it right here. Super simple. Those are your action items for step number 1 for developing your keyword plan. Now, step number 2 is then going on and actually using the keywords in your content planning. Now, content planning can happen in 2 ways, and I want to define content planning here for you right now. Content planning as in the pins you plan to make for Pinterest, either from your blog posts, any short form video content you're creating, or products that you sell. The 2 ways is obviously keyword research on the platform or using Pinterest trends to develop that content plan. Now, as you begin to use your keywords on the platform, you are going to use them for various different image types. We're going to get into that. But you can see here, there's 2 different images for each of the examples I pulled out today that I have used main keywords. So verified merchant on Pinterest, get more sales on Pinterest as a verified merchant, and then Pinterest for e-commerce, generate more sales for Pinterest for e-commerce, and then how to use Pinterest trends in ChatGPT, how to use Pinterest trends in ChatGPT. 2 different images for each of these URLs, and you can see that those are varied, and they have various results on them as well. So what I want you to do is really rotate through, after you make a keyword plan, I want you to rotate through your keywords with different images. I want you to create pins with your main keywords that are varied using different images, so either stock images or brand photos of yourself or of your products, and then creating those different pin types. So you're going to create pins with your main keywords on different pin types. Now here's an example of a video you can refer back to on this channel that's already live. 3 types of Pinterest pins you can use in your strategy. And I also have a playlist called How to Create Pins, How to Create Pinterest Images. heatherfarris.com/create pins playlist will get you to that YouTube playlist right here. So you can use this video as a guiding reference for creating pins using your various keywords. Okay, that's action items for step number 2, is developing your content out of your keyword plan. Now, step number 3 is scheduling your Pinterest pins. Now, this is actually a little bit more nuanced than just like, oh, let's just put our Pinterest pins in the scheduler and we're good to go. No, there's a lot more nuance that goes into this. But one thing that I really want you to know is optimizing your Pinterest pins fully before you actually publish them. Now, the 2 main Pinterest schedulers that I recommend and that I use is the native Pinterest scheduler. That's what's actually visualized here on this mock-up. And then the Tailwind scheduler is what I actually use and pay for myself and the majority of our clients. We have them split. Now, I want you to fully optimize your Pinterest pins before you upload them to Pinterest, because you want Pinterest to actually index your Pinterest pin. Now, this pin got indexed really quickly here. This one just published a couple days ago, and it's already over 600 impressions and 2 pin clicks. So what we really want to do is make sure that we have a really strong title and a really strong pin description that goes with it. Now, both of these places are going to use the keywords that we've identified in our keyword plan related to that content. Once you upload your pin either to the native scheduler or to Tailwind, you're going to be allowed to add a pin title, a description, and a URL. And if you upload a video on Pinterest, I'm not sure about Tailwind because I don't use Tailwind to publish videos, but on Pinterest, you will be able to choose a cover image for any videos, and it'll show up right here below the actual image itself. Now, let's talk about just briefly writing pin copy for your pins. I typically use what I call the 5 by 5 by 500 rule. It's 5 keywords, 5 sentences, and 500 characters. That will give you a really well-rounded pin description. However, recently, Pinterest has updated their descriptions to potentially, and I think this might be a test, so don't hold me to it, have more than 500 characters. Recently, I was writing a description and I noticed I was at 800 and it hadn't cut me off yet. 800 characters. So make sure that you are at least using the 5 by 5 by 500 rule, 5 keywords, 5 sentences, 500 characters. Another question I'm going to get often, probably in the comments of this very video, is should we use hashtags? And the answer simply is no. I would rather you just use the hashtags that you were going to use as keywords in the overall description sentences that you write. I've listed here e-commerce product listings. I want to call this out because you are not going to be able to write a custom pin description for any pins linking directly to product listings on your website or your Etsy store. I don't know about Teachers Pay Teachers because we don't pin to our TPT products for our TPT clients. However, I want to just call this out. So this is an Etsy product, and this should be working itself around to become what looks like a claimed pin from Etsy, and Etsy's actually going to be added onto it as the person that it was pinned by. Let me find one for you. Maybe this one. Anyways, it's going to get to where the description actually overwrites itself. Now, this might take some time, but it's not going to work in the long run for you to write your own Pinterest descriptions and for those to stay. I swear there's one. Here it is. This is probably what it's going to end up looking like. The product details are going to come through. You're going to have a bunch of images on the side that look like this. They're all the images from your listing. Now, what I would suggest doing is making sure that your actual product listing on whatever site you host your products on, making sure that your actual listings include both keywords for Pinterest and keywords for that platform. Now, if you're on Shopify, it should be Google and Pinterest. If you're on Etsy, it can be Google, Pinterest, and Etsy. Okay? All right, moving on. Quick call out, there is a Pinterest approved scheduling playlist if you are concerned about what it looks like to schedule your Pinterest pins. So your action items for step number 3 are to choose a scheduler. Pinterest is free. It's a great place to start. All the other tools are obviously paid, so you need to make a choice. Choose a scheduler. I want you to create a batch of Pinterest pins using your main keywords. I want you to create your pin copy, so your title and your description that goes with each Pinterest pin. And I want you to schedule those pins to Pinterest. Now, as we land on step number 4, there is a little bit of a kind of caveat here. So I want you to review your analytics, but if you are new or you're just starting on Pinterest again, you may not have a lot of data to review. So I want you to give Pinterest a full 90 days of consistently pinning to the platform before you pour over your analytics and wonder why things are or are not working. Now, there is a caveat here. If you do have a pin really take off and start to pick up steam, and now some of your other pins are starting to get served up as well, then that may be a really good time for you to actually review your analytics. Now, there's an entire YouTube video on this topic. I'll show you that one in just a second. Now, you aren't only going to be looking at your Pinterest analytics, you're also going to be likely looking at your Google analytics, and I have resources for both of those. So your action items here are really to review your analytics and adjust based on what you find there. So what is working in your analytics? What do you see working as far as reach, as far as impressions, as far as pin clicks? Is there a certain theme that you see with image styles or colors or fonts or topics that you're creating pins on? Are there particular boards that are getting more reach than others? I want you to take note of all of those things. And if you're wondering to yourself, oh man, I don't think I can write all of that down. Well, that's okay, because there's an entire blog post on this entire topic on my website. I also have 2 videos, a Pinterest analytics video and a Google Analytics 4 and Pinterest video. Both of them are going to walk you through how to find your data and what you're looking for. And in the blog post, I give you those additional questions that you can ask, as well as other ways that you can look at your Pinterest pins on Pinterest to see how people are perceiving them. So really, step number 4 is figuring out what is going on in your analytics and how you can use that to tweak and make it better. Okay, so how does it tie all together? Well, number 1 is consistently using your keyword strategy to create your Pinterest pins and scheduling your Pinterest pins, then reviewing your analytics to tweak and adjust. So really, when you look at your Pinterest profile, you see a collection of Pinterest pins like you see here. On my profile, we'll go look at it together live right now. What you can see is a mixture of product pins, blog posts, tall pins, short pins, squatty pins. There's even the occasional guest blog post feature in here that you can see. There are videos that I cut up from YouTube, like this one right here and this one right here. And if you keep on scrolling down, you're going to see board covers and just various other things. And this is really what it looks like to have a well-rounded Pinterest strategy. Your Pinterest profile doesn't necessarily have to look so polished and perfect. It can look as ugly as what mine looks like, and it can do the job for you. I'll show you my analytics so you can see the most current data. This is the last 30 days, 1/7/26. I have over 50,000 impressions. I have 345 outbound clicks. My saves are going up, like all my data is going up, and I'm making money. And that's really, at the end of the day, what we care about. So a really well-rounded Pinterest strategy uses all 4 of these components consistently. You are creating pins using your keywords with various pin styles, with various formats, so image pins and video pins, even the occasional infographic and YouTube video or product image can be shared over. You're scheduling those pins, choosing a scheduler and really using it consistently, and then you are reviewing your analytics and tweaking and adjusting with what you find there. A really quick example of what I saw recently happening in my own analytics, which is why I quickly created a brand new updated blog post, was in my analytics. I found a pin that had resurfaced, and it was about Teachers Pay Teachers content. So it's pretty old. I don't know if it's in here now, but there was a pin about Teachers Pay Teachers. So what I did is I really quickly updated that blog post with current day information because I saw that people were seeing that pin, that old pin, and visiting that blog post. I updated the blog post. I created a new Pinterest pin for it to get it out there. Now the people that are visiting from that old ugly pin are getting the new content as well. And then I was able to get a new version of the Pinterest pin out. So that is what I mean by reviewing your analytics, tweaking and adjusting, and being light on your feet and really like taking it all in, but not taking it personally either. Now, I created a worksheet for you. And this is actually just right inside of my Pinterest strategy guide. So if you need a new copy of this, you can go to heatherfarris.com/Pinterest strategy guide. And it's going to be in that first email. Now, if you have the strategy guide already and you just want the worksheet, I'm going to include a brand new link in the description down below where you can just get the updated link just for the worksheet because you've already downloaded the strategy guide before. So you don't have all of that mess. You're not going to get the email again anyways because I have people excluded. Last thing that I want to mention is if you like this style of content, if you want more depth and deep strategy talk, or if you want someone to review your own Pinterest strategy, I would encourage you to actually visit Pin Profit Academy and join us. I keep it super low cost for a reason. You get a full organic strategy, the full ads course, my Pinterest workflow course, a full template library that includes monthly Pinterest templates every single month. We do monthly deep dives and we have coaching calls regularly. So if you do like this style of content, I would encourage you to join us inside Pin Profit Academy. It's pinprofitacademy.com. I hope to see you there.